Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've been playing Etheria Restart since launch day. I have a day one account. If you would want to check out, I do have a number of videos covering various bosses and game modes in this game. But honestly, this is the best time to actually go ahead and start an account in this game. They've made some significant changes to the early game progression, and there are two very important decisions that you need to take early on which could kind of make or break your account. The first thing that they have added, so what I've also done is started another account as well to play along and experience the new player experience. So the first big decision that everyone will be faced with is that you get this apex selection card on day 2 itself. Like, I've got my card, I haven't gone ahead and summoned yet, and I will be discussing on who I will be picking and why I will be picking them, and I will tell you the strengths and weaknesses of picking each of these heroes. This is one decision. The second decision is that you also have a targeted summon banner here, where you can select any of the SR heroes, the non-light or dark heroes. And these are heroes that you start the game with. So this does not include the later heroes that came out. So you can target any one of these and you can end up actually summoning them in 40 pulls. And then obviously you have the regular. So when you start the game, you typically pull on the permanent summon banner, and then eventually you pull this banner. So these are the 2 points that I'll be discussing in this video. So firstly, let's jump into who you should be looking to pick from the selector, especially the LD selector, you can say. So you're faced with all of these options. So other than Yelly and Plume, everyone is available, because Yelly and Plume are actually up on the banner right now to summon. So I'm going to go over each one of these heroes and then go ahead and pick who I will be picking for this account. So Doki Doki. Doki Doki is one of the strongest heroes in the game. She's someone, especially in PvP, completely negates control teams. How does she do that? Is that so? Firstly, if we look at her skills on her S3, she applies backup. So what does this do? Is firstly it will increase your one of your allied turn meter 12% 8 times consecutively. So basically make them go immediately, which is like 96%. On her S2, she's also applying speed up and damage dealt increased by 2.5%. So what this hero basically does is that if you're typically playing a longer match, which is more of a turn 2 team, she will continuously keep increasing the damage of your team, the speed of your team. You'll end up taking a lot more turns, and eventually you will end up winning the match. That's pretty much how she works. Also, what this backup does is that each stack can purify up to 3 debuffs. So even if you're up against a complete control team in PvP, and you have her, you basically cannot be controlled in the matchup. That's what she does. So she's extremely powerful in PvP. She does have good usage in PvE as well, but she's not a early game hero. She's someone that you would need or want to build her when you're specifically looking at RTA. Even in the bot arena, which is your regular arena, you don't really need her specifically, and she does need all of her skill ups. So if you're new to the game, getting the hero is not the most difficult part, but getting the lattice to level up their skills is actually where the game is difficult. So definitely she's someone who would be good on 555. So you need to put about 12 of those lattices into her. That's the reason why I would not pick Doki Doki as a new player. If she's the only hero you don't have, or you're in the late game and you like playing bruiser matchups, then Doki Doki would be the right pick. The second option you have is Mio. Mio is straight up a crowd control hero. I would strongly recommend not picking her because the game has kind of moved away from crowd control in the PvP. So she's no longer meta. Last season she was extremely strong, but control teams are not that, I would say, reliable anymore. And I've been playing these PvP games for a while, and nobody really likes to play control teams. So even the developers never really let the control meta get too strong. Secondly, she's not that great in PvE as well, although her skills are good. But if you see, the percentage chances of it landing are a little lower. So 50%, 25%. So even if you max accuracy this, you only have a 50% chance. And it's on a 4 turn cooldown. Typically for PvE, you're looking for stuff with 3 turn cooldowns. Even her crowd control, which is the wound and the freeze only has a 40% chance. So this again is not a reliable control mechanism for PvE either. So I would strongly recommend, unless this is the only hero you don't have, I would not recommend picking her. Third hero is Messiah. Messiah, he is one of my favorite heroes in the game. I think he's the coolest looking hero in the game. He's an absolute beast in PvP because of his S3. So if you look, when you max this skill out, it ignores 70% of defense. So he basically can one shot the entire opposing team in PvP. He's also decent in PvE, but there are better options that you have for PvE content. So he's not that greatly used in PvE, but he is the strongest nuker in PvP, even currently in the game. And simply because of his S3, I think he would continue to be a meta unit for a long time to come. But again, if you're just starting the account, he's not someone you would want to pick up because he will not make PvE that easily. So you will have to build other heroes first for PvE. So simply for that fact, he would not be my first choice as a new player. But if you are at a stage where you're starting to play a PvP and get into RTA, then he is your best damage option, especially if you are a cleaver. So Messiah is a decent pick, I would say. Yeli is not in the selector. Henrik, I would say a big no-no. So Henrik, so his S2, he's got one unique skill. So his block. So this is the only unit I believe in the game that has this skill. So it makes him kind of cool. But again, for him to work, you need to put lattice into him. So again, not ideal because he's not that great in PvE except for niche uses. And in PvP now, people for buff strip and stuff, people have moved on to Plume. So he is a little power crept in that ways, but still a decent unit. But since we can only pick one unit, I would not recommend it. Lily. So when I started this game, Lily was the first SSR that I managed to pull. I didn't realize it at that point of time that she was so important, but she basically makes PvE a cakewalk. Her S2, which applies twin tricks. So typically you start off with the S2. So you get a speed up, you get buff. So your basically your damage dealer will immediately get a turn after her. So you'll have her as the fastest unit. You buff up your damage dealer. They will move first because this is also giving you a turn meter increase. Then on her next turn, she'll hit her S3, which will reset the cooldown of the skills. So again, your damage dealer will immediately hit with his third skill. This basically makes PvE a joke in this game. So if you are someone who's looking to make PvE extremely easy, then Lily by far is the best choice because she is the most critical PvE unit in the game and she's also extremely good in PvP and she will continue to be for a long time to come simply because of her S2 skill. Then the next, oh, we still have two options left. Lilium. So Lilium is a very, very well-rounded damage dealer. So she deals the highest single target damage in the game. There are a number of videos on YouTube that you could find which show comparisons between her and other single target damage dealers. Plus, her S3 has a unique skill which seals your opponent's HP as well for an equal amount of damage done. So this cannot be dispelled and can be only used in PvP. It does not work in PvE. So this is an insane skill in itself. Her passive, her S2, again, this what her S2 does is, again, it deals a shit ton of damage and also has a guaranteed chance to inflict a stun whenever the target has less than 70% HP. And if you kill the target, then everyone on the opponent team is stunned. And typically, when you use this skill, you will end up taking more than 30% HP for sure. So you pretty much will be stun targeting. You'll be stun locking the hero that you're targeting. And this does not require accuracy in any way. So her S2 is great. We discussed her S3 as well. And her S1. If you read this line flash, Lilium is immune to all control and turn meter effects. So her passive, which you will have to book up to get, but it's definitely worth it. So she cannot be controlled. So you're pretty much guaranteed that no control team will be able to stun lock Lilium and kill her. So she does extremely high damage to bosses. She is extremely good in PvP, and her passive makes her actually one of the top three heroes in the game in the PvP. She is someone who gets picked in pretty much most of the RTA matches, and she's used for most dungeon and shell bosses. So Lilium again is a very good pick for the selector. The last option we have is Shadow Sanya. There was a time when Shadow Sanya was meta. She's basically deals dot, but you don't really need her in the game now. She's a complete PvE hero. She doesn't have any PvP viability that I know of. So I would just basically suggest not to pick her. I think that's an easy one. So now that we've discussed all the heroes, our choices pretty much are Lily and Lilium. And I don't think a lot of people who've been playing the game or know about the game will be shocked when I go ahead and make this decision. I will be picking Lily from here, and there we go. Now, another way to go about is you can actually keep this selector forever. There's no need to use it right now. You could do some more summons, figure out if there's another hero that you could probably get from there. So that's always an option. But I don't prefer to do that because if you just, I'm telling you, eventually you will end up getting all the heroes in the game. They do give you so many summons. On my main account, I have every single hero that has been released in the game, and I have not spent a single dollar on summoning. So they definitely do give you a lot of summons. That will not be a challenge. The next banner I want to talk about is the targeted summon banner. So typically what you do want to do before you pick on that banner is at least get 4 SSR heroes so that you don't end up getting dupes, because getting a dupe early on really feels bad. So I got Lillian is default. I pulled Remoka and I got Kolros. Yeah, horrible heroes that I managed to summon. So I will be waiting to pull at least one more hero before I pick on the targeted summon banner. So let's talk about the targeted summon banner here. I think there are only three core options here. See, Linglao you're going to get for free at the end of 7 days, so you don't need to summon her from here. Rahu is a great pick to go because Rahu does everything that you want in a hero. So let's talk about him for a little bit. So Rahu, simply for being green, he can be your damage dealer for Doki Doki. You can straight up use him. He deals ton of damage and he scales of defense. So while any of these attack based damage dealers you look at, They're a little squishy, but you will be building this guy up on defense and crit damage and crit rate typically. You want to get about 100% crit rate, then add stuff in crit damage and defense. So his A3 hits like a ton because first he will give you a 2 turn defense up, so 60% defense increase, and then will deal 400% of his defense as damage to all enemies. He's also got an insane passive. So he gains. So when you book this skill up, he gains 3 stacks of wrath at the start of the battle. Each wrath is 5% of defense. So you're starting with 15% extra defense. And for every 4 actions by your allies, you will gain 1 more stack. So you can gain up to 12 here. And whenever your ally attacks, he's got a 50% chance to assist. When he assists, he consumes 1 stack and also transfers 1 debuff from the assist ally to the target. So if your ally has any kind of debuffs and this passive triggers, it will also transfer that ally's debuff onto the opposing hero. So insane in itself. And his S1. So typically, when you are doing this, his S1 is what will trigger. This also has a 80% chance of defense down. So man, so this guy does everything. He deals damage. He's tanky. He's applying debuffs. So he is an absolute first pick types from this from the selector there, from the 40 pick selector. Another now recently good option that has popped up is Zyda. So Zyda recently got buffed, and now she is kind of creating a new archetype in the game where she is a attacker who can be built like a bruiser. So, but I haven't really tested her out, so I'm not going to say that you should pick her or not pick her without actually testing her out myself. So, but she is definitely another good option that has recently come up. And if you're looking for a pure damage dealer, Rosa will always be a good option. So Rosa again does a lot of stuff. And the good thing is earlier you needed you needed accuracy to land this passive, which you no longer need. So that change is kind of good for her. So she again is a very viable option here. And if you're looking for a straight up great debuffer, then Kloss. Kloss is your go-to. AOE defense down, slow, plus this hack-in and hacking progress. It's very underrated. If you see this hack-in, increases damage taken by 25% and decreases damage dealt by 40%. So this is in itself insane. She steals turn meter on a S2, again AoE. So she's again a great option. But if I don't end up getting from this banner, I will be pulling for Rahu. If I don't end up getting Rahu from the next summon here on the permanent banner, I am 39 away. So let's see. I'll spend some crystals. We'll just do a 10 pull and see if we get an SSR. No, we don't. So yeah, I haven't been too lucky on this account, but uh, summons really are pretty easy to come by in this game. So before I end this video, I think it's already long enough. Couple of things, just one more thing. So if you are free to play, you do want to buy these packs weekly. Buy these out. This 800 crystal 10 summon and 1205. So what I've calculated, if you pull these weekly, you will end up having enough summons to go ahead and even if you have to pity on the apex banner and end up getting your limited banner as well. So yeah, I think that's my piece of advice at this stage. I'm going to get into this account more. I'll shoot definitely pop up some more videos about stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.